Hello, my Boys and Girls Clubs friends. It's Miss JoAnne from the Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeast Louisiana. So this week we are talking about space. So we're going to make some fun space crafts today. Now, I'm sure Miss Sarah's already filled you in a lot of the things about galaxies and about the moon and the planets. But I wanted to remind you that we know that we live in the Milky Way galaxy, and the scientists are able to kind of study 4 other galaxies. But astrophysicists believe there's like billions and billions, maybe even 1 trillion different galaxies out there. So we are going to create our own planets. They don't have to look like the ones in the Milky Way. They can look however you want. So that should give you freedom to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. I went ahead and cut out circles of black paper. I've got like poster board, whatever you want, because we're going to be using colors that are going to show up beautifully on this black color. So there's several things that you can do to create your own planet. One of the things that I think is kind of fun is for less than $1, you can buy some of these really cool glow-in-the-dark paints at Walmart. I've got some pink, some yellow, and some blue. And you're simply going to use these colors to paint your own planet. Now, I don't know if you can tell on this one, I've already had that one drying, but if you actually take this into a dark room, it's gonna glow in the dark. So I would simply just take some paint, put a little bit of it here on your black circle or your planet, and you can do whatever you'd like. You can make stripes or swirls or whatever you'd like, but you may use that glow in the dark paint to give it a really cool look. All right, so another activity that you can do, another craft activity, is to take your circle and cover it in foil. Now, if you want to paint with foil, it's usually best to use some of the acrylic paints. You can use some of the glow in dark ones also, but you can use any color you'd like, whether it be green, purple, red, yellow. So I've already painted part of my planet. So I've used different colors, and these have already dried. But let's go ahead and finish it up, and we'll see how some of this paint adheres to the foil. It does a real nice job, and it dries fairly quickly. So I'm going to take some yellow acrylic paint, and I'm going to finish up the bottom of my planet. Remember, this particular planet may not look like any of those in our galaxy, but who knows what some of the other planets look out in other galaxies. So here we go. So I went ahead and completed using the acrylic paint on my planet, which is simply a piece of cardboard with foil wrapped around it. So that's one option in making a planet. Another way we can do that is by using chalk. It could be sidewalk chalk. It could be chalk that you use on a chalkboard. It's up to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these. We're going to get some water, and we're going to wet some chalk. So I'm going to put some of my pink sidewalk chalk in there, my orange, my blue sidewalk chalk. I might even use some of my smaller pieces of chalk and put those in there. And I'm going to take my black circle or a planet, and I am going to use that wet chalk to draw on my planet. So you can do it however you want. Perhaps you'll have a circle or you'll have a stripe. It's completely up to you. The good thing about this is this almost dries instantaneously. So once it's on the paper, it'll dry pretty quickly, and you'll get the idea of what it'll look like. So here's just what I've done here. I've actually just used a wet chalk, and I've started to paint on my black paper. Here's 2 that I did that have already dried. It gives it a really cool look. You can experiment with it, making all sorts of designs on your planet. All right. So another thing that we're going to make today is going to be the moon. Now, when we look up at the moon, it almost looks like it has spots on it. Now, those aren't actually spots. Those are craters, and those are a result of many, many millions of years of asteroids, meteoroids, comets banging into and bombarding that moon and causing these indentations, which we call craters. Now, the surface of the moon is mostly just kind of like this gray, dusty rock, but there are mountains and there are, like I said, craters. So we're going to learn how to make a moon and how to make it look like there's craters on that moon. So here's my black circle. Again, we're starting with black circles, and we're going to use white paint. Now, if you wanted to use a white circle and use a little bit of black or gray paint, that would work just fine as well. So we're gonna start with some white paint, which I have right here. And I'm going to start with taking a piece of tinfoil that I just crunched it up, and I've got the bottom kind of flat. I'm gonna put a little bit of the white paint on there, and I'm going to just put it all over my circle to make it look as if we have craters. Now, other way that you can do that is you can use some of this bubble wrap, like bubble wrap that you get in boxes that come from, different things that you've purchased. So I'm gonna take some of this bubble wrap, and we're going to put that in the paint, and we are going to experiment with what that looks like. It looks like we have craters on our moon. Now, when we look up, we see at night, we see a bright moon, but we're only actually looking at 59% of the moon. We can't see the backside of the moon, but that's what we're looking at. And the reason it's bright is because the sun is reflecting off of the moon. But here is a glimpse of what it might look like when you look up at night. So you can use several different things to paint with, like I said, crunched up foil or even bubble wrap. All right, the last craft we're gonna make for our space week is going to be a spaceship. That's kind of silly, but it's kind of fun to make a spaceship anyway. So what I did is I took a regular old paper plate and a bowl, and I glued the two of them together. I went ahead and spray painted mine, but you can paint it, you can color it, you can use markers, whatever you like. And I went ahead and decorated mine by cutting out just pieces of foil, just circles of foil from there. And then I just happen to have some of these really cool kind of like jewel-like things laying around that I decided to put on there. But you could do anything you wanted. You could paint it. You could paint the centers of it. You could have your spaceship look whatever you want. So there's some ideas of some fun craft things you can do to celebrate Space Week. I hope you all are doing well, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.